rung it.
Oh yeah. Hello there and welcome back to Bullets for Bucks. My name's Stephen Bresnaw and today I'm reviewing and testing the Bergara Wilderness Ridge in 300 PRC. For the testing I'm going to utilize the Hornady 225 grain ELDM factory offering ammunition and of course using the Pro for Show hearing protection. I have this rifle topped with a burst eliminator 4 to 16 variable power scope because I'm hoping to use it hunting this coming fall. This rifle features a button rifled 24-inch barrel with a threading of 5/8 by 24 at the end. It does come with a thread protector and has an included muzzle brake, which is quite nice, and it looks really sharp because it fits perfectly flush. It has a sniper gray Cerakote across the entire action or receiver and barrel itself. It features a woodland camo hand-painted stock with a soft touch rubberized coating that makes it really grippy even in harsh conditions. It has a really nice soft touch feel to it with just enough grip to not be too grippy, but grippy enough to hold it in the field and not let it slip out of your hands. It features here at the back a very nice cushiony substantial recoil pad that does a good job mitigating felt recoil. Moving forward, it features the B14 Action, which is basically a Model 700 or a Remington Model 700 clone. If you remove the bolt from the rifle, you'll see that it has a coned bolt nose and it also has a coned breech inside. This allows it to feed easily and extract easily. It has a nice polished metal bolt body and the bolt is all one piece and it comes with a nice tactical aluminum bolt knob that is threaded on. So you can thread this off and put on an aftermarket bolt knob if you want. It does have a cock indicator at the rear that features a red paint dot. Let's go ahead and put the bolt back in and we're going to talk more about the other features on the rifle. It has a 2-position safety, so all the way forward is of course fire, to the rear locks the trigger so it cannot be fired, but does not lock the bolt from being opened or manipulated. I do prefer a safety that allows the bolt to be locked in place when it's on safety so that you don't accidentally have it come out of battery before you make a shot, such as if it gets caught on brush or slips while on your backpack and opens up and you might lose a round if you have one chambered. Is it rare to have it come open? Yes, but it can happen and has happened to me in the field. So I do prefer a rifle that has a locking safety where it locks both the trigger mechanism and the bolt in place. However, that being said, the action is extremely smooth. I would say it's improved upon the Remington 700. It's smoother than a Remington 700. It's smoother than a Howa 1500 when you're running the bolt back and forth, but maybe not quite as smooth as a Tikka T3X or a Tikka Action. It has a 90-degree lift, so you have to manipulate the bolt handle at 90 degrees to operate it. However, that being said, there is plenty of scope clearance within 90 degrees. Now moving down to the trigger. It features a Bergara performance trigger, and it is made in-house. The trigger body is riveted in place, so you can't really do a trigger job to this trigger very easily. But you shouldn't have to. It's a single stage trigger. It breaks very crisp, very clean. It does have some over travel, but no perceivable creep, and it breaks like glass. This one adjusted down to 1 3/4 pounds. So using the adjustment that it comes with, not doing any kind of trigger job to it, it adjusted down to 1 3/4 pounds, which is very good for a factory trigger. Of course, this Bergara Wilderness Ridge features a bottom metal that is actual metal. It has a nice Bergara emblem and name blazed into the bottom here, and it comes back into a full metal trigger guard. So it's a nice actual bottom metal, not plastic like a Tikka bottom metal. I believe the capacity on the standard Action is 4 or 5 rounds. With the Magnum, it's 3, and then with 300 PRC and 6.5 PRC, it's only 2 in the magazine here, which is kind of a little bit disappointing. I would like to see that a little higher, and we're going to test that out and make sure that that's true. Now, like I noted earlier, it is a 700 clone, so your Remington 700 bases, rings, and aftermarket accessories, even stocks, will work with this barreled receiver. Things that I take away from this rifle is, wow, it seems like an amazing rifle for the price. You get this beautiful soft touch stock with hand-painted woodland camo. You get a gray Cerakoted action and barrel that matches just beautiful and perfect. You get real bottom metal, not like a Tikka where it's plastic. And all the components seem to be made high quality. Now, you might be saying, well, you had a review on a Bergara HMR and you said, do not buy Bergara. You said you did not like the rifle and you were not happy. Well, that's true. About 2 or 3 years ago, I spent money on a Bergara HMR and had a very bad time with it. I could not get it to shoot even close to accurate. And I did tons of testing and lost a ton of money on it. Bergara has had quality control issues in the past, both with their extractors failing and with barrels basically not being done properly or made properly, and therefore having severe accuracy issues. I'm hoping that 2 to 3 years later, now, they've resolved most of their quality control issues, and we have a good rifle here. All right, folks, so now that we've gone over the fit and feel and a lot of the specs, let's also dive into more of the detailed specs. So on the left side here, you'll find your bolt release, and if you suppress that, or excuse me, press that, you can remove the bolt. Unlike maybe a Howa 1500, when you go to put the bolt back in, it catches a little bit and you either have to force the bolt forward to get it back in place, or you can just press this as you're putting it back in. But it works quite nicely. Of course, it does have the nice Bergara name on the side in the metal, which is really nice. Also, I think I forgot to mention that this is a 1 in 9 twist for the 300 PRC chambering. Also to mention is this does not feature the aluminum mini chassis built into the polymer stock like a Bergara HMR. Instead, it has what they call epoxy pillars, full epoxy pillars. So it's not glass bedded, but it does have epoxy pillars, which I have not seen in very many rifles. Normally they're metal, but we'll see how they perform. Another thing to mention is that the polymer stock features glass fibers in it. So even though it's not fiberglass, it does have basically fiberglass fibers inside the polymer, which is kind of a cheaper version of fiberglass. It is rigid, but it's not as rigid as a true fiberglass stock. If you flex it here at the fore end, I would say it's probably about as rigid as a Tikka T3X stock, and it's definitely better than your, way better than your Ruger American stock, your Tikka, your Axis stock, or even the Howa Hogue stock. But it is not as good as a true fiberglass stock. The barrel is made of 4140 chromoly steel, and it has a sliding plate extractor in the bolt face here for extracting your casing, with of course your normal typical plunger ejector. It is a 2-lug bolt. Woo! That's accurate.
You run it.
Oh yeah. All right, All right, folks, so in closing, the Bergara Wilderness Ridge in 300 PRC performed flawlessly. It didn't have the accuracy issues my HMR had 2 or 3 years ago when I basically said I can't recommend Bergara. There's too many issues. So maybe that'll change in the future. I want to see that this consistently shoots accurately, holds its accuracy, and check out more Bergara rifles before I make that statement. But I got to say, I'm extremely pleased and happy with this. The action runs absolutely smooth and effortless. It ejected properly, it fed properly, and it extracted properly. So it didn't have any ejection issues or extraction issues or feeding issues, and it definitely holds 300 PRC cartridges in the magazine. It says on their website 2+1, but all I can figure is that the website, with that information, it was misinformation on their website, because it definitely holds 3 rounds and it feeds just fine with 3 in there. Like I said, no issues at all. I love the rifle so far, and I look forward to doing more reviews on it in the future. I'm also going to do comparison videos with Bergara versus Howa, Bergara versus Tikka, Bergara versus some other rifles out there, so that you guys, when you're looking for a rifle, can kind of see those videos and go, okay, here's the differences. Because this is basically a Remington Model 700 clone, so it has a recoil lug sandwiched between the barrel and the receiver, whereas a Howa has the one-piece forged receiver with the recoil lug integral as part of it. So there is differences. I do prefer the recoil lug being part of the receiver, not sandwiched between, but I gotta say, this rifle is shooting amazing. The first group out of the rifle was about 1.25 inches for a 3-shot group with the factory ammunition. Second group out of the rifle was probably sub ½ inch, and the third was probably sub 3/4 inch. So absolutely amazing. We also took it out to 400 yards and shot some more groups with it off camera, and it did flawlessly. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to hearing back from you.